everybody, welcome to your intermediate stretching sequence today. So I won't be officially using any props today, but as always, any props that you need to make you feel more comfortable or to make this series feel a little bit easier for you, then please feel free to use blocks, straps, bands, whatever you feel comfortable using. Okay, so whenever you're ready, we are going to start standing today. We're going to bring our feet in hip distance apart stance, soft through the knees. Give the arms a little shake out. Make sure we're not carrying any tension. Let go of any stress. And let's start to simply breathe. I'm going to inhale, sweep the arms up, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale through the mouth as I bring the arms down. Going to do that one more time. Inhale, sweep up, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale as I bring the arms down. This time I'm going to inhale, sweep all the way up, coming into a roll down. Going to dive the arms forwards, the chin comes to the chest. I roll myself all the way down to a standing forward fold. Feel free to pause here, dangle, lift the tailbone high. Think about the ribs coming towards the thighs, maybe taking a little sway through the upper body here. And then we'll bend the knees, keep the chin on the chest as you ground down and peel all the way back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, sweep the right arm up towards the ceiling. I'm going to take the left arm behind my back and then take a little side bend here. Eye line is turning up towards the ceiling and my left hand is reaching around towards my right hip. Then I'm going to come back to center and change sides. So my left arm goes up, right arm wraps behind the back. Taking a side bend here, breathing into the left rib cage. Keeping the knees nice and soft and working with that breath. Slowly coming back to center. Inhale, sweep both arms up towards the ceiling and exhale as you bring the arms down. I'm going to step the feet a little wider than hip distance apart now, and then I'm going to start to work with that breath again. Inhaling up and exhaling as I bring the arms down. So now, toes are facing forward still, knees are slightly soft. I'm going to inhale, sweep those arms all the way up. I'm going to roll down here in a wide leg stance. Arms come forwards, chin goes to the chest. I'm going to roll my body down. My knees start to soften slightly as I let my body dangle here. So I'm allowing the tailbone to lift, the weight to shift forwards into my toes. Give the head, the shoulders a little wriggle whilst we're here. Let everything go, maybe taking a little sway from the hips, whatever makes you feel comfortable as we open up through the backs of those legs. Let's soften through the knees, keep the chin on the chest as you slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing, ground down through those feet. And as you roll the shoulders down the back, toe heel those feet in so they come back to hip distance apart. This time, inhale, sweep up, grow a little bit taller. Exhale as you dive yourself all the way down to a standing forward fold. This time I'm going to tuck my hands underneath my feet. So knees are slightly soft and I'm tucking my hands underneath my feet. So that just lifts that height a little bit, opens up through the backs of the legs even more so. I'm going to inhale as I bend into my knees. So I'm pressing my hips back and then exhale as I try to extend the legs, hinging the weight forwards. So I inhale as I bend the knees, shifting my hips back, and I exhale as I shift forwards, trying to keep the ribs towards the thighs. One more time here, inhaling as I bend the knees, make sure the weight goes back, and then exhaling as I tilt forwards, allowing the head to dangle and easing my weight towards my legs. Carefully soften the knees, taking the hands out from underneath the feet. Bend the knees even more so. Chin stays on the chest as you peel up through that gorgeous posture and come to standing. Going to take the feet out into that wide leg stance once again. Inhale as we sweep up, grow tall, make space, and exhale as we roll down, arms forwards, chin to chest. Slowly folding myself over, knees are slightly bent now, allowing the body to dangle, hinging forwards from the hips. Now this time I'm going to walk my hands over towards my right foot. So my hands are towards my right foot now, body's going in that direction. I'm going to bend into the left leg and then ease off, both legs long. Bending into the left leg. I'm still keeping hold of that right foot and then easing off. One more time. Make sure you're shifting the weight back so the knees never go over the toes. Creep through center like a little spider, bringing your hands over towards the left leg now. Folding over that left leg and then start to bend into the right leg and ease yourself off. So I'm bending into that right leg, opening up through the inner thigh now as well. One more time, bending into the right leg, easing off, walking the hands back to center. Soften the knees, chin on the chest, and roll yourself all the way up. When you get to the top, creep those feet back into hip distance apart. Maybe give the legs a little shake out. Might feel like they need a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a release here. And then slowly inhale, sweep all the way up. And this time we're going to roll all the way down to the ground. Arms forwards, chin to the chest. Roll yourself all the way down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Bend your knees completely when you get to the bottom. So you can come all the way down onto your bums when you are ready. I'm going to peel open. Going to find a cross-legged seated stance here. Allow the knees to go down. Lengthen through the spine. And start to roll into the shoulders. So let's take a moment to arrive seated here, okay? So we're trying to allow those knees to open up. We're going to start to go into the hips slightly as well. And also we're lengthening, making space through the spine. Okay, let's gently reach that right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Drape the right arm over towards the left ear and delicately bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. Make sure you're making space between the left shoulder and the left ear. And like I say, we're keeping that spine long, shoulders stacked over hips. Carefully ease off, lengthen through the right arm and bring that hand down. Let's take the left arm up. We extend out of the hips first. Drape that arm over to the right ear, delicately, carefully, easing the left ear to the left shoulder. Keep that spine long. We're not curving, we're not collapsing into the back here. Breathing into the neck, allowing the muscles to lengthen, to release, to reset. Softly coming back to center, extending that left arm and bringing that hand down onto the knee. When you're ready, assisting that right leg out to the side. Make sure this right knee stays backwards. It doesn't collapse in. So you might want to pop the right hand on the inside of the right knee just to make sure that that leg stays there in alignment. When you are ready, the left arm sweeps up towards the ceiling once again. Now we're going to slide the right arm down the right leg as we take a side bend here. Now try to keep that left arm coming back so that you're not collapsing in front of the face. Keep the left knee dropping down towards the ground and breathe into that rib cage here. Now softly on your breath, turn your body to face that left leg, one hand either side of the left leg, and take a breath as you square off your body towards that left leg, that's your right leg, sorry. Keeping your left knee dropping down towards the side. So a slow breath here. And then carefully walking those hands up. And we'll bring that leg in. Let's take it to the other side. So assisting out to the side, making sure the knee doesn't collapse forwards. Shifting the weight through, same hand on the inside of that leg. When you're ready, right arm sweeps up and we take that side bend as we slide down the inside of the leg. Keep that knee dropping down towards the ground. Both bottom cheeks stay on the floor here. Softening through that shoulder, really trying to open the chest, so pressing the chest through. Breathing into that rib cage, slow, steady breaths. And then carefully squaring yourself off, bringing one hand either side of the leg, squaring the body towards that leg, making sure the bent knee is still opening through the hip here. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth if that feels comfortable for you here today. And then softly walking those hands back in and bending those knees to come into cross-legged once again. Hands onto the thighs. Let's start to cat and cow through the spine. Inhale as the eye line goes up and exhale as we round the back, tucking the tailbone under, chin to the chest. So we inhale as I press the hips forwards, opening through heart center, and then exhaling, tucking the tailbone under, rounding the back. One more time here. Hopefully the hips are starting to feel a little more open here as well now. Slowly curving, rounding, softening the shoulders. Let's lengthen up, find that neutral spine. Inhale as we grow tall, up and out of the hips. Exhale as you bring the hands down. We're going to come over onto all fours when you're ready. So coming onto all fours in your own time. Let's come into our cat and cow. So starting to articulate the spine, getting in a little bigger movement here, dipping through the back and then rounding, curving through the spine. Really mobilizing and starting to move your body and your breath together here. And then we'll softly pause as we lengthen. We find our center, our neutral alignment. Let's tuck our toes under and bring your hands gently towards the knees. We're going to sit onto our heels now. I've got my toes tucked under. I want to stretch into those feet as well today. Let's inhale, sweep the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Interlace the hands come behind the head. And as we're sitting here, opening up through the toes, we're going to take a gentle twist side to side. So try to move slow and controlled here, keeping the spine long, shoulders stacked over the hips. And I'm taking a breath as I rotate, twisting to one side, noticing how that feels on each side of the body. Maybe if your feet are quite tight, you're more aware of this stretch in the toes than the top half. Pause as you come to center. Inhale, reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Float the hands down onto the mat as you lift your hips. Uncurl those toes, maybe give them a little tap out if that feels good. And slide the palms of the hands to the top of the mat now as you allow your chest to sink down towards the ground, lifting the tailbone high, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground now as we find an extended puppy. So take a breath, open up through the hips, the pelvis, inviting those shoulder blades to come together. Maybe you've got a prop underneath your chest if this feels a little restrictive. Softening through the breath and then carefully ripple the body all the way to come to lay onto your fronts when you are ready. We'll extend the left arm out to the side, palm of the hand on the ground. Right hand is underneath right shoulder. We're going to bend the right knee and roll onto your left side when you're ready. So left ear is on the ground, palm of the left hand is on the floor. Now you're trying to get the ball of the right foot onto the ground, maybe onto a prop if the ground's too far away. And then press that right knee up towards the ceiling as you press the hips forwards and lengthen the left leg. Breathe here as we open up into the front body. Possibly sweep the right arm all the way up and over and reach the right hand behind your back towards the ground so you can really open through that shoulder as well. You might want to have a pillow underneath your head if that feels a little uncomfortable for the neck. Let's take one last breath here in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, and then carefully bringing the right hand back, gently rolling onto your front as you extend the right leg and bring that left hand in towards you. Gorgeous. Let's do that on the other side. So extending the right arm out when you're ready. Bending the left knee, rolling onto your right side now when you're ready. So the right ear is coming down to the ground. Now the ball of the left foot is on the floor, not the heel. And then I'm pressing that left knee up towards the ceiling as we press the hips forwards. Possibly you take the left arm behind the back so you can peel that left shoulder blade open here. So we're opening through the chest on both sides of the body. Remember, using props whenever you need to. Don't be afraid to ask the props for help. Let's softly bring that left arm all the way back. Carefully roll onto your fronts as you extend that left leg and bring that right arm into underneath the shoulder when you are ready. Let's slide ourselves forwards as we lift the chest, finding a little cobra here. Make sure those hands are directly underneath your shoulders and that your elbows are slightly soft, Shoulders are away from the ears. When you're ready, I'm going to lead with the bottom as I lift my hips to find a downward facing dog. Once we arrive here, lengthen the arms, extend the chest through. Try and keep the ears in line with the arms. We're going to lift the left heel, bend the left knee, and gently press the right heel heavy into the ground. Extending that right leg, lifting the tailbone high. And then we softly change sides, bending the right knee, pressing the left heel into the ground. Try to keep your shoulders square. And then when you're ready, if you're able to, extending both legs, allowing both heels to fall heavy to the ground as you lift your tailbone high towards the ceiling. Take a breath in through the nose, exhale, and let it go through the mouth. In your own time, slowly bend your knees, coming down onto your knees, uncurling your toes when you're ready, finding a child's pose, bottom towards the heels, forehead bows down to the ground. Creeping those arms forwards, fingertips are reaching, lengthening towards the top of the mat. Maybe opening the knees a little wider if that feels more comfortable for you here. Slowly in your own time, walking your hands towards you, interlacing your hands behind your back, and then trying to extend the arms if you can, so that you're lengthening through the arms, lifting the hands off the back and opening through the chest. You could use a band here if you can't comfortably get those arms together. Then I'm going to slowly bring the hands down towards the floor as I lift my head, I lift my bottom, I'm coming onto my knees now. I'm going to press my hips forwards, reaching the hands down towards the floor as I open through the chest. Be careful not to drop the head completely back here. So opening through the entire front body. And then we'll slowly ease off, release the hands. Inhale as you sweep those arms up towards the ceiling and then float the hands down towards the ground. Bring your right knee with you. So I'm going to bring my right knee towards my right elbow and then step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So we're coming into a little lizard here. So my right foot is coming onto the outside of my right hand. Now the right toes are facing in the diagonal, the right heel's coming in, and we're pressing that left hip forwards. Really try and open up through the left hip flexor as you open the right knee out to the side. We're going to bring the right hand behind the head, and then we're going to slowly peel the right elbow up towards the ceiling, and then gently bringing the right elbow down towards the ground. Okay, I'm going to do this twice more. I'm going to inhale. The right elbow opens up towards the ceiling. Legs stay as they are. Exhale as you bring the right elbow towards the ground. Doesn't have to touch. One more time. Inhaling as you open all the way up here. This time as you come down, the right hand rests onto the right thigh. Gently press that right leg away from you. You might like to roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. Try not to collapse into the ankle. So I've lifted my right big toe off the floor and I'm kind of trying to press my chest away from that thigh. And then I'll slowly pop the right foot down, bring the right hand down onto the mat, tucking the left toes under, lifting the left knee and pausing here as you press that left heel away from you, but think about sinking the left hip down towards the ground at the same time. And then we'll carefully pop the left knee down, walk the right foot to the center of the mat, so one hand either side of the right foot now, and then I'm going to once again lift that left knee off the ground. So we're now in a high lunge. Right knee is over right ankle, right knee never goes over right toes, and the left heel is pressing away. I'm going to slowly exhale as we straighten the right leg, coming into a pyramid variation. And then inhale as you bend back into that high lunge. Going to do it again. Exhale as I straighten the right leg. So I'm trying to keep both hips square towards the top of the mat. Inhaling as I bend back in. Let's come up and hold now. So straightening both legs. Try and fold over that right leg, nose to knee pose. pressing the left heel away from you, but don't be alarmed if that left heel doesn't touch the floor. It's too wide a stance, okay? Try not to lock out the front knee, and then we'll carefully bend back into that right leg, and then ground down through the hands. We're going to step straight back into a downward facing dog. So I'm going to take my right leg back and step up into a downward facing dog. Let's try and find some stillness here if we can. Heels heavy, lift the tailbone high. And then when you are ready, gently bending those knees, coming down onto your knees. When you're ready, we're going to bring the left knee through now. So left knee comes through towards the elbow and then steps onto the outside of your left hand. Make sure the knee follows the line of the toe. And your right knee is not underneath the hip, it's further back. You're pressing those hips forwards. Once you feel settled here, once you feel comfortable, left hand behind the head. We're going to inhale as the left elbow comes up. Look at your elbow if you can. And then exhale as you bring that left elbow down towards the floor. Here we go. So I'm opening through the chest. The legs don't collapse in, okay? As I bring my left elbow down, I'm softening through the right elbow slightly, yeah? This time we're going to peel all the way up, open the chest, and then float that left hand onto the inside of the left leg. Gently press your chest away, maybe rolling onto the outside edge of the left foot. Don't just collapse into the ankle though. Breathing here, slow and steady. No tension through the shoulder. Make sure the shoulder's away from the ear. And then comfortably rolling back onto that foot and bringing the left hand down to the mat. We tuck our right toes under now, and if it's available for you, lifting the right knee and pressing that right heel away, sinking the right hip down towards the ground as I'm pressing the left knee out to the side. One more breath here, in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, and then carefully pop that right knee down. We're going to walk the left foot into the center of the mat, one hand either side of the left foot now. We're in that low lunge, and then we pick the right knee off the floor, so we come back into our high lunge. Press that right heel away, left knee is over left ankle. When you're ready to join me, we exhale as we straighten both legs, hinging forwards, find a pyramid variation, and then bending back into that left leg. So props here, you might want to have your hands onto blocks, onto pillows if the floor feels a little bit too far away. Or maybe you want to keep that back knee on the ground, and that's all good. Don't force that front leg to straighten if it's not quite ready, okay? Let's come up and hold, so easing here, soften yourself here. Take a breath, let everything go. Just be grateful of wherever you are, knowing that wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. Don't be forcing yourself into anything you're not quite ready for. And then we'll bend back into that left leg, ground down through those hands, because you're going to step back to that downward facing dog whenever you're ready. Take a little breath, have a little fidget if you want to, and then try to find some stillness. We're going to come through now with the right leg. So I'm going to bring the right knee through towards the right wrist as I shift my weight forwards. We're coming for a pigeon. So right knee goes near right wrist. Right foot's coming out from underneath you. Pop your left knee down, uncurl the left toes. You're going to slide that left leg back as much as possible, so you're really opening up through the hips now, keeping the chest lifted at the moment. You might want to pop a pillow underneath your right bottom cheek, and your left knee, top of the left foot, should be on the ground. Let's thread the needle whilst we're here, okay? So I'm going to extend the right arm forwards, and then taking my left arm, threading it underneath the right, and I'm bringing my left ear down towards the ground. So I'm creeping the right arm forwards, I'm trying to creep my left arm through, and I'm allowing my head to settle onto the ground, or maybe it's on to a pillow or a block, something like that. Slow, steady breaths here, so opening up through the chest, through the shoulder, through the hips, the bottom, the lower back as well. And then carefully, gently, we're going to bend the right elbow, press yourself all the way back so we come up. Walk those hands in towards you a little bit if you can. Now we're going to bend into the left leg if it's there for you. I'm going to take a big arm circle with the left hand, and I'm going to find that left foot. So I'm trying to press both hips towards the top of the mat here. Trying to find a little stretch here through the front of the left thigh, the left hip flexor. Maybe you could bring that foot in a little closer, have a little play, a little explore. You might want to use a band or a strap, or you might think this is not happening today, Jade, and just miss this one out. And that's all good, okay? Just listen to your body. Let's release that leg off. Bring the left hand down. Tuck the left toes under. Lift the left knee off the floor and come back into downward facing dog when you're ready. You might want to give that right leg a little shake out, which is all good if you do. See how it's feeling. Have a pedal, have a twist. Once you are ready to join me, we bring the left knee through towards the left wrist as you shift your weight to pigeon. Left knee comes onto the floor, left foot's coming out from underneath you. Right knee goes down, we uncurl the right toes. You're going to slide back with that right leg, so really try and open up here, using a prop if you need to. Taking a slow, steady breath. This might be enough. You might want to stay here, which is quite nice if you do. If not, we take the left arm forwards. The right arm threads underneath the left. Now I'm going to bring my right ear down towards the ground. So I'm looking at my right hand, trying to kind of peel the left arm back slightly. Beautiful breath. This is quite a nice, comfortable pose once you get into it. It's then getting out of it that's the fun part, isn't it? So a slow, steady breath. Pausing here. And then gently bending the left elbow to be able to push yourself back up. Walk those hands in towards you, get a little bit comfortable here, and if it's available, bending the right knee and then sweeping the right arm, big circle as you find that right foot. Once you find it, try and slide the right knee back a little bit and then trying to press your right hip forwards, yeah, because what happens is you want to turn to the side and you want to fall onto that left bum cheek. So use props, use whatever you need to, use a strap here, or maybe modify. Modifying is all good, okay? Slowly, once you've had a little play, if you want to practice, you could always pause the video. It's entirely up to you. We're going to ease that right leg down, bring the right hand over, tuck those right toes under, lift the right knee up, and step back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath. Now, as many steps as you need, we're going to walk the feet all the way in towards the hands. Find that standing forward fold. Okay, so just allowing the weight to come forwards, the knees to soften. Allow the body to dangle here. Just let the head, the shoulders go. Take a lovely natural sway. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. And then keep that chin on the chest. Let the arms fall heavy. And then you're just going to peel yourself all the way back up to our standing pose. So rolling yourself up. Allow the shoulders to come down the back. Maybe give yourself a little shake out through the legs, through the arms. Give yourself a little wiggle here, whatever feels good. And then ground down through those feet. Inhale as we sweep our arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And with a big out breath, bring those arms all the way down. Awesome. Well done, guys. If you enjoyed that one, that is part of a 4-part series. There's a beginner's stretch, a lower body, and an upper body as well. So if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. And I hope to see you on the mat again really soon.